Welcome into the KSR Football Podcast presented by Friends of Cole. You know them. They're our friends. They're our best pals. They're Friends of Cole. friendsofcolekentucky.org. Go visit that website today. They're dedicated to informing and educating Kentuckians about the coal industry and its vital role in the state's future, providing a united voice for an industry that has been and remains a critical economic contributor to Kentucky. Coal is resilient, reliable, and affordable. Friends of Coal, friendsofcolekentucky.org, sponsoring the KSR Football Podcast. I'm Nick Roush. That's Adam Luckett. Van and Drew are joining us a little bit late today. Some stuff goes along. It happens. Which, you know what? That's perfectly fine, Luckett, because I wanted to start the show where we were just a couple hours ago, because we know what lies ahead. We know what everybody wants to talk about. But we do have to talk about the work and getting back to it. And I don't even know how to describe the press conference we just sat through, but that was something, man. I wish I could find the right words for it, like it, but I'm left with this very uncomfortable, awkward feeling, because that's what it was. It was uncomfortable. It was awkward. Nobody was there. It felt weird. Felt very, very weird.
Yeah, awkward, I think, is a good word for that. I think everyone in there kind of felt that. It's like a tension almost.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all there it was almost, Nick, like we were all just trying to avoid, like, everyone knows what's going on, right? The conversation around Kentucky football is whether, Stoops is going to get fired or not.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't really just ask 20 questions about that. So, and we're trying to focus on these games, but really, like, they still have to play 7 games, and that is just it's a cloud hanging over everything at this point.
It's a lot of games. That's a lot of football left too. So you get some questions about, like, are these freshmen going to play? Are they injured? And a couple things that I wanted to hit on, though. One, like, hey, you keep talking about the process of getting back to work. Well, what are you doing with the process to change the results? And sounds like the same process.
Again, like, a lot of this stuff, I keep just going back to the off season in the summer and at SEC media days. In basically, to put it, just like elevator pitch it, basically they felt the problem was the roster last year. So they got a new roster. And the sell was, well, we got this new roster. The stuff we were doing will start working again. So we're committed to doing the same thing. Our system is in place. We're committed to over and over and over again, but it's not leading to any results. Like Nick, the offensive numbers they're like the same across the board. At this point, much of them are worse than they were last year. Now there's still 7 games to play, and you still haven't played your FCS opponent yet. But it just feels like you're almost reliving last year, and it's just on an accelerated timeline this year because it felt like things crumbled later in the year last year. So that's where we're at, and it's just
but
nothing can change it unless they start winning games, really. And that's just we're in kind of this funk. Everyone's in like this. It's almost like a malaise. The whole the program, and I think the supporters are in right now.
But Mark Stoops, he says that the offense is better. He sees it in practice. It's better. Now, somebody might throw some numbers in his face and tell him that it's not. Van, the numbers do not say that it's better. Do you think the offense is better than it was a year ago? Has progress been made?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say, wow. The unfortunate part is we're dealing with a quarterback with 2 SEC starts. And that's the problem. So does it look better? I think the floor is higher than last year. I think that, and it's tough, man. It's tough being a local quarterback. Then been a local quarterback after 4-8 season. Then been a local quarterback after the guy whom they brought in to supplant you and put above you didn't play well, and now you're thrust into a situation where you really can't win unless you are Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, or Watson. You got to come into here and ball out. And he's the Arch Manning of Kentucky. Expectations, and it's hard to live up to those. So I will say this. I think this. It's obviously the O-line is better, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious the running back group, the starting run, RB1 is better.
Yep.
So if you put those two together, you would say the offense is a little better, right? Numbers might not suggest it because you're in a flux of quarterbacks. Quarterbacks is so important, and when you're in a flux of it, it can look bad. And right now, it's not looking great.
And they don't have Dane Key. Dane Key was good enough to give them pretty much 5 to 6 for 80 yards almost every game, just to have something to go to in the passing game. Well, right now at receiver, it's who do you target? Where do you go to? You just don't know what you're going to get from a passing game. And to Van's point, I think that makes it harder on a young quarterback because they don't really – there's no givens, I think, weekly with the passing game. But, yeah, Nick, I think the plan was to get better at offensive line and get better at running back, and they thought that would fix a lot of their problems. And it really hasn't, at least through 5 games, because they're still getting the same results despite being able to run the ball better. And they have limited, I think, some of the negative plays. We're not seeing as many tackles for loss allowed. We're not seeing just quarterbacks totally getting teed off on. There have been some bad moments, but it really hasn't mattered because they're still not finishing drives and scoring points.
And I think that's the part that it's hard to wrap your brain around because, okay, if we have a nuanced conversation, okay, I could see where a lot of this is better, but it doesn't matter if the results aren't any different. And that was essentially what I asked Stoops to just, hey, what's the identity of your team? Because I can't pinpoint it. They're a little bit better at some stuff, but they're worse at others. And they're just, if I was to ask somebody on the street, they would probably say they're bad. And that's what their identity is. I was curious what Mark Stoops would say it is. And he said is that they have a very steady mindset. They're working hard every day. It's a hardworking group. You know what we want our football teams to look like, what I want them to look like each and every year. I feel like this team is very much united and working extremely hard and very passionate about getting better each and every day. If we stay that way, we'll see the results eventually. Feels like both of those statements we're going to know about in the next 2 weeks. Are you still going to be united, or are you going to unravel like you did a year ago? Are you going to get any results? So, what's these Mondays going to feel like if they lose to the 2 orange teams at home? You know? Are you going to keep saying the same thing? And that's the part that feels like an impossible task for Mark Stoops is kind of saying the same stuff when nothing's really changing. It's falling on deaf ears. And the part that's kind of crazy to me, too, is that it's not quieted down at all. I know people got excited about a basketball event over the weekend, but we listened to Matt on the radio show this morning, and it was only about 20 or 30 minutes of basketball before people were ready to talk about running Stoops' ass out of town. So, it's not – we're in a weird spot. A very weird spot.
The fall Saturdays are not going away. These games are still going to happen. So people are just not aren't going to pretend that they're not happening. And
say it, Van.
I'm going to go back to this. I'm really at the beginning of the season, this month of October, did anybody think was going to win a game? I mean, let's be realistic.
No.
Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, right? So
this is all about what happened at South Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I understand that we're in the moment now and it feels like crap. But if you looked at the schedule beginning of the season, like I said, we had to be 3-1 to win 6 or 7 games. We had to be 3-1. If you're not 3-1, you're probably not going to win 6 or 7 games. So we're not 3-1. That is the biggest problem. We're not it's like we just went from we were supposed to be 4-0 at the beginning of the season. Now we're 2 whatever. That's not what it is. We are about where we expected. Now, here's the crazy part about it. In my estimation, if you want to fire Stoops now, right? The people want to fire Stoops now. What if he wins the last 5 games? Because those are your best options, right? But when the season started, this middle part of the season was we're just gonna go 0 for 3 for the majority of people who are on here, right? What if he goes 4-1 or 5-0? If you want him fired now, you should still want him fired then. Because what's the difference? He hasn't changed. It's not like he had a magic wand that I'm going to change my way of coaching. So for me, we have to. I know we live in the moment, but let's see what these next 7 games play out, because we are going to probably be 0-2 these next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you realistically were 0-2.
So I think that essentially what he's saying is that we are probably going to lose some games, but eventually we're going to come out the other side and we're going to have a chance to win at the end. It's just hard for me to envision how that happens, Mr. Luckett.
And I think what they've looked like has played a role too. The offense doesn't look any better, right? They can't score points. So, like, there's some frustration dealing with that. The defense has all kinds of issues. And this is not – everyone knows that like, they cannot play like this and expect to win. Expect a chance. Their defense cannot play like this. And so I think that has a lot to do with, much as anything, just how they've looked in these situations. And again, like, you played South Carolina again and just combusted, and and then just you look up and the game's over in the fourth quarter and you're embarrassed playing them second year off. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But to Van's point, yes, like these 2 games are always going to be difficult. The season was really about getting to a hot start in September and then being in a position where you can make some noise in November. That's really what this season was about from the beginning. But the problem is they totally messed up September. And so now they're way behind the 8 ball. Now they got to go into these fights, eat these punches, and then, where are they, in November? Because now you're getting to a point where you're going a long time without winning a game. And can you keep the team locked in and keep them together through this so you can get to November where you maybe have some more, I think, winnable opportunities? But at the same time, it's tough. Like, Vanderbilt looks probably better than you thought they would be. Florida is about what you thought. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Again, that's a long time, and it's a long time to just kind of sit in the stink for everyone. Like, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I went back through the games. I think there's been one one-score game in the fourth quarter in the last year against a power conference team.
Yeah.
And that was just Ole Miss, the first one this year. Because Auburn beat the doors off you in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, I know Cutter looked decent in the second half, but that game was never really close. Tennessee, you had a chance. Gavin Wims had interception late in the third quarter.
Yeah. Nick, you have to go back to the Ole Miss game in Oxford for the last game where Kentucky wasn't down by double digits at some point in the fourth quarter in against a power conference team. They've been down by double digits every fourth quarter. And so
I think that's why, Van, it's so hard for even Johnny Optimism to be like, well, they can still win those games. It's the how. It's because I just want to see them be in a game that's close, not even win it. Like, can they make one of there's the better question, Van. Is there a path for them to make either of these next 2 games a sweat for the other team in the fourth quarter?
Our path is for Cutter Bowley to mature faster. That's the only way. And you can't, and it's unfortunate that you have to put that on his shoulders, because if you look at last week, how many yards did Seth have on like 11 carries? He had over 100 yards on like 11 or 12 carries. Like, when you get in those situations and you have to put the ball in his hands, unfortunately, he has to produce. And I think it lies solely on his shoulders is that we have to find a way to get this passing game. I don't want to say elite, but really good to balance that the running game out. Because I mean, if you really look at it, Seth has had a really good year.
Yes.
If you really look at it and take out the UK off the helmet, take off the blue jersey, and just look at Seth's numbers, he's had a really good year. And unfortunately, there's no balance with his running ability. We have to find a way to pass the ball. And it's simple as that. And the bad part about it is Bush has have to scheme guys open consistently. And then it goes back to this. Are we going to be able to shift in motion like we want to be able to create those scheme guys open opportunities? The only way you can scheme guys open is to fool the defense, which means you're going to have to motion and shift. And that early in the season caused us problems. So I don't know what the answer is, but it lies on the shoulders of Bush getting Cutter comfortable. And maybe these two back-to-back, not back-to-back, but these back-to-back off weeks can get their relationship going, because that's so important. They got to see the game the same, and they're not seeing the game the same.
Yeah, I think that's it. The way everything else is trending, they're going to need Cutter Boley to really come alive to score points and win these games. Now, if he doesn't come alive, then it could get really, I don't know how many reallys I have, but bad. So,
well, because we've seen this before, right? You haven't seen really the alternative. I mean, what's the alternative? Steven Johnson, like becoming a good quarterback in 16. He had Badette and Juice. They could at least catch some deep over routes. I mean, that was something.
They had two backs on that team too.
Yes, they did.
2,000-yard guys.
Yes.
So like that, and that's the part that makes it. All right. Well, here's what you have to do. What makes us think that you're going to actually do it?
Yeah. I honestly think they don't have, like Adam said, Dane Key would be a great addition. And if you follow me, you know I'm really squeezing the inside of my cheek, but I'm not sure Dane Key will make a difference on this team. I think Barry Brown would be the bigger difference maker for someone to be able to blow the top off of coverages. Because right now, no one is respecting a deep ball. So they need someone who can threaten as a corner. You need somebody to threaten me and scare me from sitting on 12 to 10-yard routes, because 80% of routes are 12 to 15 yards. So if I can sit on 12 to 15-yard routes without the fear of someone beating me deep, it makes it even harder on the court.
Oh, so what else?
Look, it is a situation, and I think this is what Bush tried, and he got flack for it, is trying to be too smart for the guys he have on the team, right? And sometimes the coach can get too smart. He's not being too smart on purpose. He's being too smart because that's the only way he can get guys open consistently. And that's a problem when you have new quarterbacks coming in the system. Zach's first year in. Cutter's, I mean, it's easy, guys, throwing in practice, because kind of you know what your defense plays. You know how your corner uses leverage. You know how the safety reads. It's easy to go against the same guys all the time. Trust me. Same thing at corner. Going against the same receivers. I know how he breaks. I know his tendencies when he's going to run a curl or come. It's easy. The problem is when you read a scouting report and it says number 11 does this, but number 11 knows what he does too. So their coaches are smart too. Hey, man, we're going to have to change the way you play and maybe mix it up a little bit. Then he mixes it up or they change cover 2 from cover. Like, there are so many things that happen in the game that you can't replicate in practice. And Cutter hasn't had those game reps yet, and it's like it's difficult when you see things open, but then you have to come back and sit back and like, all right, he's only had what? In his total 2 years, maybe 100 and some passing attempts?
That sounds right.
Yeah,
Like,
that's about right.
Come on. 150?
137.
That's nothing. Some guys have 130 in 3 games.
Not here.
Not here. No.
Hey, this ain't Hal Mummy ain't calling the plays.
Right.
We gotta be methodical. We gotta be conservative. Run the damn ball. Yeah, it just sucks. It sucks because you feel like you're in a rut because the only way out is this young guy who doesn't have any help around him. Like, go save him.
And their plan got blown up. Like, the whole plan for this got blown up. Like, they wanted Calzada to bring in here to, like, raise the floor, like Van said, and they thought raising the floor along with the offensive line in this running game would create an offense, I think, where they could, score in the 20s consistently and win some games. Right. But that didn't happen, right? He got blown up. They're having to play Cutter Boley before they were really wanting to, and they're having to change on the fly, and they're having all of these issues. And again, they brought in a bunch of receivers. They hoped, I think, they would hit on a couple, and they haven't really hit on any of them to this point.
No, because where the heck is Stellato? Like, I know I said the first game I would never pass it to him again. That was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it was a little factual too. But where is he at? I don't know, man. It is, it's tough. But my thing is this, is they have options. And I don't want to talk about formation personnel to use, but we have 2 tight ends. And we have a running back that, from what I heard, Seth was a great pass catcher receiver or running back. So why not let's get him let's get him 15 touches, run the ball, at least 15, probably 20, and give him 5 to 8 passing attempts. And what I mean by pass, I mean forcing the ball. Make him run choice routes. Make him run routes where it's him on the linebacker one-on-one, or find some green grass in between 2 linebackers they're playing zone. I think that is a situation where if your outside receivers are not winning, they have options. They really do.
Yeah, and that makes too much sense, though, Van. I mean, it makes too much sense. I don't – because back to Luckett's point, though, is like it's not just that the offensive plan is blowing up, because I think Van's got a point where you can get some stuff where maybe they are scoring in the low 20s. Probably not doing it against this Texas defense, which we can talk about a little bit because they're awesome. But defensively, it's not what it was supposed to be.
No,
at all.
No, it's their worst defense since White's been here to this point.
Worst one since DJ Elliott got play calling duties removed.
I think you're looking at like since 16-17, which is aligns with that.
Yeah,
I think last
to this point
was worse.
Not the beginning. Yes, in the last 5 games, but the first 5 games it was okay. It was not
because to me the secondary is still a secondary. The linebackers are still linebackers, and they got better up front. I'll say at the end of the season, this defense is better than last year's.
Yeah, that might work out that way, but I'm just talking about the totality.
Yeah,
that defense had for the first 5 games. That defense was good.
Yeah, last year that was good.
And then De'Aaron got hurt and everything.
Yep,
fell apart, and it's basic stuff that hasn't been an issue, right? Like, I mean, I watched plenty of how Mummy teams whiff year after year, and as much as we wanted to talk about, Andre Woodson, Jacob Tammy, and all those receivers and playmakers, like they had more pros on defense than they did on the offense back then. Between Jarman and Woodyard and Corey Peters, hell, is Corey Peters still cashing checks? Like the defense had some guys, and so a lot of your success you're basing it on the success of the D, and it just to your point, like they thought they could score 20 points a game and that would put them in there. Well, it doesn't help if you're giving up 35. And I know some of it was 2 defensive touchdowns for South Carolina, but I checked, I think they're the worst scoring offense in the SEC
We're off script.
35 points.
We're completely off script. We threw that script out the window, and we got our pen out, and we're trying to write out the story right now, and it's jumbled, and it's not a very good story to this point. And so we'll see if we can find the magic words here. But yeah, they're off schedule. They're off script. It's like they don't have answers right now. We'll see if they can find some here moving forward.
Maybe. Let me add a little possibility.
Ooh, love this.
I just thought, I'm a Laker fan. Do we remember the Lakers in the bubble in 2020 when Rondo came back? How Rondo put everybody back in their original positions where their skill set matches their role. All right. What if getting DJ Waller back puts everybody back in their natural position on defense, takes a little pressure off of some of the safeties, and now you get a 3-man rotation with him, JQ, and Nichols that maybe can make tackling. I'm reaching, y'all. I'm reaching.
That works, but we've seen DJ Waller play in this defense before, so we kind of know what we're going to get.
Is he Rondo?
That's true. I hear what you're saying, though. Could it help their rotations? Could it keep them fresher? Could it maybe could it be a release valve for maybe the safeties and some of the mistakes they're making? Yeah, I don't. Hopefully that'll help. Maybe he can give them like the size and physicality they need.
Well,
maybe
a little bit on the perimeter. Maybe, yes. Maybe that can help some of the perimeter tackling, which is what is ailing them, I think, the most on defense.
Hey, I'm trying to find a silver lining, man. Come on, Nick. I'm just trying to find some positivity.
Yeah, and I think with this defense, I look at it like this: they're going to give up yards. It's really like they got to start forcing turnovers. Like, can you start forcing more turnovers, and then can you win situationally, third down and in the red zone? If you can start doing that at a better clip, I think there's a path for them. But they haven't necessarily been the best, I would say, takeaway team here these last few years. So it would be different.
And a guy that you would hope would be one of those takeaway guys or one of those playmaker guys, it goes back to the script of, hey, instead of relying on some pop player out of the portal, pun intended, we'll stick to our developmental plan. Jordan Lovett, David Rayner. That the lack of development is striking. You needed Rayner to step in and be a stud. That ain't been it. You needed Lovett to be more consistent, show up down to down, and Van, it goes back to your favorite play against Georgia, that little running back angle where they just ran away from him. It's like, dude, how do you get beat that bad on third and goal?
At least touch him. Like, I understand open field tackle is extremely difficult, but at least do something.
It's a touchdown in flag football. They would have scored a touchdown in flag football.
But sure. No. Let's make it worse. It's a touchdown, two-hand touch. At least in flag football, you have to have that skill of getting the flag and pulling it.
Those guys
touch him. He couldn't even touch him. Yeah, look, here's the bad part about it is we heard other things about the backups. Like, here's the part I don't like is when you are relying on a freshman, a redshirt freshman, to push your four-time starter, you're probably climbing up the wrong tree because that freshman has to adapt to. So the two safeties really are not looking over their shoulder. There's only one position where a guy cannot look over his shoulder. That's quarterback. Everyone else should have a consistent level of, oh, my God, this guy's coming up on me. I got to play better. I got to play cleaner. And when you have a guy who has started 4 years and really hasn't had anyone put pressure on him, sometimes you can rest on your laurels and not get increasingly better year after year because you have no one to push you.
Things are not great. Not great at all. You know what's pretty great, though?
Uh-oh.
Van's buckling up. He doesn't know where the segue is going. Brunt Workwear is great because you don't need to sacrifice durability for comfortability. Get the best of both worlds. You should have the best of both worlds, right? Your feet shouldn't hurt just to make sure you got the best work boots, whether it's the Omen or the Marin. They will get you through your day with your feet feeling great. You're on your feet all the time. Treat your feet right. Treat your feet the right way. Get yourself some Brunt Workwear today. And it's not just about the work boots. They've got a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. And it's about to get tougher out there. It's getting chilly. We got a little nip in the air. It's going to be cold. If you're outside working hard, check out some of their heavy-duty work pants, weather-resistant jackets. Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protective and productive in any condition. And now for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use checkout code KSR. So use that code KSR, $10 off at checkout at bruntworkwear.com/KSR. You don't cut corners, and neither does Brunt. Visit bruntworkwear.com/KSR to make your workday a better day with Brunt. Is James Franklin going to have to invest in some Brunt Workwear? Get back to when he gets back to work?
Do millionaires need Brunt Workwear? Brunt Workwear feels like it's for
Blue collars.
Blue collar.
Yeah, and we all know who the real blue is, right?
Yeah,
Mark's
the real blue and white
about James Franklin. Yeah, it's crazy how quickly coaches are getting fired, and I'm sure Drew, he's going to be excited. Like, I think he's going to. It's maybe a dentist appointment. I'm surprised he'll probably video in from the chair to celebrate Brian Callahan's termination because, boy, poor Titans, Kentucky fans. They're it's a football season for them. But it's crazy how quickly the trigger is getting pulled. Like, we're up to 10 power conference coaches if you count Oregon State, which I don't think you should count, but go ahead and count them. Like, people aren't waiting around anymore. Things are kind of quiet. Moving forward, the trigger's getting pulled, and it feels like in James Franklin's case, there were some people who were just kind of looking for an excuse to move on from him, and then he gave him that excuse by dropping a third straight L, this time to Northwestern at home. Ugh.
Yeah, I think one, they kind of went all in this year. Went and paid for Jim Knowles, got him away from Ohio State. They brought some guys back off the roster that were cheap to keep. They had a big portal class. They spent a lot of money in the portal. And so, I think, he's got an AD that did not hire him. And so I think they decided to pull the plug. They want to win a national title, and they felt like they weren't getting there. So they felt like they needed to, break off. And we'll see if that was a good decision or not here over these next few years. What's more interesting to me, Nick, is just where Franklin ends up. And does a school do something drastic to hire him because he's available? And does that cause a ripple somewhere else?
Yeah. The fact that there's so many this early, Van, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's the race to not get beat in line. And then I think there's also the fear that maybe somebody wins their job back. It's like, well, because
yes.
I think you mentioned it earlier, like, even if Stoops does win, are people out on him no matter what?
I think so. I think once you cheat on your girlfriend, wife, institution, whatever, it's hard to win them back. And once he had 10 toes and 90% of his foot out the door, both feet out the door, and got caught by his heel, I think he could never get in good graces with this fan base. It could never, because he was out. And now you add on top of that losing. I don't think there's anything he can do to win these. I don't want to say all the fans back, but the loudest fans will not go quiet, even if you win 7 games. They're still going to be like, well, we should have won the Ole Miss game. We should have won the South Carolina game. We should have won 9 games this regular season. I could definitely see that. It is a no-win situation for him. It's like James Franklin and other coaches, like, if they went out, like Les Miles did here at LSU, if they went out, how can you fire him then?
And then are you just kicking the can down the road?
Exactly.
In those kind of situations. Yeah.
So I don't see the advantage of firing a guy this early because, I mean, you can still do it in the year for a reason.
Yeah.
You can backdoor talk agents all year. So that's not a reason. What's the other reason? It's not money. It's just to say that I'm not going to let you win games to come back next year. That's the only thing I can see because if James Franklin wins because he could win out. There's a chance he could win out.
I mean, what's an hour? That
now
was
he's back at right.
Injury,
You want him out, get him out when things are dire. And losing Northwestern, man, I'm sorry. I lived in Chicago 17 years. Losing Northwestern, that's the black eye of a black eye, man. That is oof. At home, at least you lose in Chicago in November. At least you can say, man, that win off the lake was horrible.
Yeah. The grass is tall. Slows everybody down.
You can come up with excuses. Not at home. Shit.
After you lost to UCLA, too.
What? You know what? I can say, dude, the time travel, the 3 time zone difference, you can build some
Oregon hangover.
Into it.
Yeah.
This one you can't. There's no excuse for losing Northwestern. You only scored 21 points? Come on, man.
Yeah. I was riding with Luckett on the Penn State 35 points. So, at least they lost outright. Okay. That gave me a good chuckle, a good laugh. As different coaches change hands. We found out that Trent Dilfer, he got the axe. And I also found out that they still were employing him at UAB. One of the all-time bad hires.
Oh, for sure. The worst.
Because, at least Kenny Payne is probably the worst basketball coach ever, maybe ever. But at least there was a reason to believe that he could be good. It's like, oh, he was the right-hand man for a winning program. He had experience in the NBA. He went here. Trent Dilfer just was coaching high school football in Nashville. And they just were like, yeah, let's hire this guy because he used to talk on TV. And his high school team was decent. They didn't even – I don't think they won the state title that last year he was there, Luckett, right?
I'm not sure, but, yeah, I don't think they were, running 5 off in a row kind of thing.
Yeah. That guy.
He might not be the worst.
Who comes to mind?
Remember the guy was he from Mississippi or Arkansas that went for it on 4th down all the time?
Oh.
And someone out east gave him a job?
He took a job with the FCS school or something, or D2 school, and they were they were getting beat 70-10.
Right.
I can't remember what school that was. Kevin Kelly was
in Arkansas. He played in Arkansas.
Yeah, it was in Arkansas, but he was at the big private school in Little Rock.
Yes.
So they had talent, big talent advantage every week.
For sure. Yeah, I remember they had a TV something on that group, and they had some dogs. They had good running back, decent quarterback, good receivers. Yeah, that was unfair.
I'm trying to think of some other ones, but not Dilfer. Where you can't lose football games in the National Football League and expect to win. He's looking for a new gig. I'll
say this, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If Kentucky beats Tennessee at home, people will feel some type of way.
Yep.
No, you're right. Because I said on a poll a long time ago.
I'm not going to say that's going to happen, but if that happened, that gets people in their feels.
Yes, you're right. I said on a poll a long time ago, if we could beat Tennessee and Louisville every year, but only win 5 or 6 games, I can't remember if I said 5, 6, or 7, or lose to them every year and win 10 games, what would you rather? People would have rather win 6 games to beat those two than to lose them every year and win 9 games. So,
yeah,
you're right.
if you beat
You're
Tennessee, then your next home game's Florida. Like, what if?
Okay, all right, but
It's the what if game. It's the what if game.
But let's walk down that road for a minute. All right, let's say it happens. Beat Tennessee. Somehow the defense comes alive. Swagular just keeps throwing picks. Like it would be a wonky game, and then Bowie starts playing well. Oh snap! They beat Florida. Okay, Bowie's playing better. Let's say they do get to 5. Hell, maybe they even get to 5 before the Louisville game, and they got a chance to go to a bowl game. This is the craziest scenario we could come up with. Offseason, what are you doing? On3 released the true freshman midseason All-American team, and one of those players on there is a Louisville kid who's starting at NC State on the offensive line. Another one's a defensive lineman that Kentucky recruited, got him on campus in the fall. Now he's playing at Penn State. They weren't going to get the running back Bo Jackson from Ohio State. They recruited him a little bit. But the point being, so what happens moving forward? Well, you probably fire a lot of assistant coaches, fire sale, and then you hit the portal for 50 new players. You're losing recruits. Tyreek Jemison, he's getting recruited by Georgia now. He's decommitted. Who are you recruiting now? Who's going to help plug all those holes? Like, I think ultimately the biggest issue of it all is like Mark Stoops has made it clear that he's probably just going to keep smashing the same buttons. And from a roster building standpoint, you're just kind of banking on the quarterback, hoping it works. And then, all right, well, then let's try to find some guys around him. When time and time again, their recent track record of roster building has said, it's not very good. Not very good.
Could they get a $3-4 million quarterback? I'll tell you right now. I've watched enough college football. If you can find a quarterback, if you can find like Cam Ward last year, like a Mateer this year who elevated OU till he got hurt.
Like Devin Leary in 2023?
No. A $4 million quarterback, not a 1.5 or whatever.
Okay.
A $4 million quarterback. If you got a guy who can elevate the offense solely on his shoulders and bring in, let's say we do the Vandy thing. Bring in his OC from wherever he was. I think that's your angle. We need a quarterback. I'm sorry. I like Cutter. I think he has a future, but right now we can't go on the potential.
Yep.
The potential is not something that I guess this Stoops can't benefit from potential. Now, if you fire Stoops and the new coach likes Cutter, then he gets a honeymoon phase. He gets up to Cutter's senior year honeymoon phase. But if Stoops stays, there's no honeymoon phase. He's got to get a guy who is a difference maker. Are we able to spend $3-4 million on that high-level quarterback? And will he want to come here?
Yeah, I think a lot of ways they're now tied at the hip. This staff with Cutter Bowling. Like, I think the path is like if they won a couple games, he shows some juice, and then you use that money that you would have spent on quarterback somewhere else.
Wide receiver?
Make another, yeah.
2 of them?
Right. Or hey, like, let's go out and just totally rebuild this secondary.
Oh, I forgot to mention Mandrell Desir, one of the Desir twins that Kentucky recruited. He's also on that true freshman All-American team. So, just because I think even if you're able to stick bandages on it, it's like it's just a Band-Aid. Whereas it feels like there needs to be an arm or a leg amputated,
Advil for concussion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's and that's to go back to where we started with the press conference. It's just we're in a very awkward spot because it feels like a no-win rock where you're between a rock and a hard place. I mean,
he can't say anything.
He can't, and then it's hard for us. We just had the same conversation over and over again, right? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
I did want to. I loved watching John Summerall punch in that late touchdown to get the cover on Thursday night. It was a hell of a cover. He could have settled around and kicked a field goal with time expiring, but I love that. Just really just sticking it to him, punching it in there. That was exciting. Did you watch the Auburn game, man?
Yeah, I watched some of it.
That game went to crazy town. That's
college football now, man. I mean, Alabama almost gave up that Missouri game. It was 27-17, and I was like, that game is over. Then all of a sudden, someone said, Missouri has the ball with 50 seconds left and marching. I'm like, wait, what? I thought that game was over. Like, how? What happened? Like, that's why I'm saying that let's get through these next two games and see what happens. Because what if Florida lose some more games? Billy Napier's on the hot seat. I mean, no. He's on the hotter of the hot seat. Like, what happens to Auburn? Like, you don't know what happens with these kids like our kids did, last game, we have a guy at the concession stand. We have got like, that's not just us. That can happen anywhere, right? So let's see how these other games play out and what happens with these other teams. You never know what might happen. But y'all still, the majority of fans still want him gone regardless because he can't win 10 games. It's not mathematically possible.
Yeah, and it's just
he's been here a long time. It feels like
stale.
It's just it's stale. It's going sideways. It just feels like they don't have answers, Nick, to the kind and it's been the quarterback stuff has been a big issue
for a decade.
And say they go 5-7, Cutter doesn't look good down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go hire a new OC. You got to and then you've got to go get another quarterback in the portal. It's like, how many times are we going to keep doing the same thing over and over with the same cast of characters? It just feels like, like you're just spinning your wheels at this point.
Well, Indiana just did it.
See, and that makes it even worse, right?
I'm sorry.
That makes it even worse that Indiana, it's like, well, if they can do it, if Vandy can be relevant.
It's not just that. It's Vanderbilt. And it's Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina was knocking on the door of the playoff last year. So it's all these programs that Kentucky, either they used to play yearly or they have played yearly. Louisville was 10-1, right? Yeah. In the 23 year. So all these other schools are that you compete against, that you feel like you're peers with and that you go toe-to-toe with, and you feel like Kentucky has had maybe a better program over a decade or longer. And they're doing it, but you're sitting here and you're going 4-8, and then you're 2-3. You haven't won a home SEC game in a couple of years. It's just that makes it, it makes it worse. It makes this thing smell worse.
Timing is everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
because 2018 we're in the playoffs.
We're gonna have a great time on Saturday though, because we get to do this all night. Like doing horns down. Doing horns down is fun, man. It's fun.
What's your over-under during the game, though? We're not talking about tailgating. What's your over-under where you're going to be able to do that legitimately during the game? Over-under, I say 3. You think you can do it more than 3 times?
I think it's going to be exactly 3 times that you can do the horns down.
Okay.
But you're still – like they're going to show the video broadcast and people are going to be like, horns down. I loved it in last year's game. Was it a touchdown run? Like there was one point in the broadcast.
It was after Kentucky scored a touchdown. They showed Kentucky fans and everyone in the section was doing it. And that was it. That was the moment they got, and they couldn't do it the rest of the game.
Texas defense is awesome. I don't even know what how do good things happen is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know that other than Arch just like stinks, but like Arch is getting better, and he looked pretty good against that talented Oklahoma front. Like Texas has some offensive line issues, so maybe Kentucky blitzes a lot. We got your answer to your question, by the way, Van, about all the stunts. Brad was like, yeah, we knew they had some freshmen on that line, so we were trying to confuse them. So, maybe Brad gets a little bit more blitz happy. But, like, Arch is pretty good about evading the pressure, feeling it, getting rid of the ball. I just worry that Kentucky's defense is going to be a great antidote for this Texas offense to really get revved up. Because they played kind of a, like, let's not mess this up game, and then broke the floodgates open late. I think Arch was, like, 4.5 yards per attempt or something like that. It was like $140 on 28 attempts or something like that. But so like I don't know. It sounds bad. It feels like it's going to be bad because Kentucky trying to do anything into the teeth of this defense. They might be the best defense in all of college football.
Yeah, I would say they're Ohio State good, but they're in the next, I would say.
Yeah, the next best.
Next best conversation.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's going to have to come back to they had an extra week. They're going to have to scheme guys open, be efficient. Tight ends have to be a factor, and Seth has to be a factor. That to me is the only way. You are not going to run the ball on it. We can't go first down, inside zone, second down, wide zone, 3rd and 15. Try to pass the ball. We're gonna have. I say this for me. I haven't watched Texas enough to really know, but I'm gonna go back to you have to use Seth in the running game. I'm gonna say this: their defensive line is so good. There's no need to chip.
They're getting home anyway.
You wasted. After I played, Anthony White was not the best blocker for blitzes. Guess what Hal Mummy did? He leaked them out. So now the defense has a choice. Either we're going to have Green Dog, make sure he doesn't he stays in. Now he's one-on-one on a linebacker. That's the one-on-one on linebacker is probably your best bet more than your outside receivers one-on-one on their good corners. So your advantages are tight ends and running backs. You have to use it.
And to me, Nick, like I want to see this team play with their hair on fire.
Why not?
I mean, like if they can't do it for this, is it even in there? Like I kind of look at it like this game is to me a little similar to last year's Georgia game, where everyone is down on the team.
That's fair.
And they're playing this big bad opponents coming in with the name quarterback. That team's coming off this huge, victory. Can you come out and just play with your hair on fire and let Texas know early, like this is not going to be a walk in the park. Like we're going to fight you until this game's over. Can they do that? I mean, we'll see. But to me, more than any other game, this almost feels like a circle the wagons game. Like if they don't have that kind of mentality and play that way in this spot, I don't know if we're going to get it at all the rest of the year.
Did it sound like a real circle the wagons kind of moment for the head coach?
No, it did not.
Yeah, it sounded kind of like the same old, same old. Kentucky 6-11 and 4-13 ATS in games off of a bye under Mark Stoops. 5-10 outright, 2-13 against the spread against SEC teams. Okay, it's not good after the bye week, so at least they've got that going for them. You made this point on the drive up today too, Luckett. I'm curious how bad it will feel in the tailgate lot and also in the game Saturday. How Like, how much will we feel the anger and animosity?
Yeah. And not only this game, but I think these next two, and then maybe even Florida.
And then how quickly is the rope let go of?
Right. Because last year's team, they let go of the rope. So, like, can they keep them in the fight over these next few games? And to your point about kind of some of the Stoops comments, you're right. We're right to a certain extent. Like, what can he say? But it's not. You don't feel like, at least I don't. I don't want to speak for you all, but you don't feel like he's like itching, ready to go and ready to fight. Even after the Georgia game and the South Carolina game, it was like I was just surprised how like usually he's angry after a loss, and that really wasn't the case. It was different, and so like how much are they in the fight still? You know, they're saying the right things, but we got to see it play out on the field.
Well, another thing too is it's just the same things. And is there a try to – and you know what? Maybe he's saving that for a game that they actually have a chance in, right? Maybe it's another timeout. But I don't know. Oh, man, today just driving up here, my body can feel it sometimes, right? Like you're just like, oh, this is yeah, that's I'm feeling the muck. I'm feeling it right now. We're stuck in the muck. Our wheels are spinning. Need somebody to go get us a boost out of this because we were in that rut, brother. In that rut.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. You know what? I got the answer. I'm the answer guy today. I think the offense will come out in the eye-bone and totally fool them. That's the market for it.
We're going to see quick kicks on third down and
hey, yes.
Okay.
Hey, an Ivy League team did that on Saturday. They actually quick kicked. I haven't seen that in years. Like that's some real high school stuff. You're getting blown out. Like, this is one way. We'll at least flip the field on and make the other offense have to work that hard. Did y'all put up some points on Friday, Van?
Yeah, we actually put up 33. 33 was really 33-0. We put our JV team up, and they scored a late touchdown. So,
okay,
it was a better output this week. So, hey, it was coaching. The coaches coached them up this week better than what we.
Oh, so quick aside, it's not my wife's school. It was her rival. It's the town we actually got married in, right next to theirs. So Marion Local, Ohio is on the nation's longest winning streak. They've won 72 straight high school football games. And a couple of weeks ago, we ran into a guy down at South Carolina who's from the area. His team was playing them, and they were winning in the fourth quarter until Marion gets a late pick, and then they score with like a minute to go to win the game.
Oh.
2 weeks later, Marion extended their winning streak to 72 in a game which they did not lead in regulation. They had won in double overtime. We're down the whole game at home, came back, controversial late call, and they win in 2 overtimes. It fascinates me because, you know, we're stuck in all of the Kentucky, blah, blah, blah. Up there, like, that's all anybody's talking about is Marion going to lose a football game? Like, It gives me some real Friday Night Lights kind of vibes where, like, I know that Ohio State is the biggest show up there, just like Texas football is the biggest show in Texas. But when you're in that little area, when you're talking to people, when you're going to the functions like we went to, they only wanted to talk about Marion. They weren't talking about Ohio State putting the clamps on Illinois. It was, oh, man, I think somebody's going to get them this year. Like, it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild to me.
Yeah, that's what, 3 state championships in a row, or 4?
I think they've won 6, but there was like a loss before there. So I think they've gone 4 years without losing. Which is
okay, yes, without the consecutive win. That's impressive, man.
How great would that be to be like the pressure's on. We better not lose a game, right? Like,
our cross country team, my high school won 20-something cross country state championships in a row. and I think the record was 26. I think we fell too short. Can you imagine that senior class?
Oh,
That's top the street.
that's tough.
It's tough.
It's like St. X swimming.
Yeah.
I don't think they've lost one yet. It's got to be like 40 straight years they've won state in swimming.
I think they could throw Luckett on the relay team and still win state. Like,
yeah.
That's
Get me out there on a noodle. They might still win.
Wow.
Oh man. I'm glad we can kind of detour from some of the agony because there's a lot of agony. There's a lot of pain. I got to go home. Dealing with home projects isn't fun because I don't really know what I'm doing, but my old Kentucky Home Repair, they know what they're doing. They've got handyman services, home repairs, remodels, and much more. Whatever it may be, my old Kentucky Home Repair has you covered. They've been serving the Bluegrass region since 2008. So you got an issue, head on over to their website, myoldkyhomerepair.com to learn more. You can also give them a call at 859-940-3376. myoldkyhomerepair.com. Get your house in order. Mr. Luckett, is your Bengals house in order with Joe Flacco running the show?
We're better than we were this time last week, I think. So ask me again on Thursday night.
I know Peak wants to do watch-along things. I don't know if it would be good for our relationship if we did.
We're not doing We're not doing that.
It would not be good.
That's not happening.
We're not going.
I'll do a lot for this company. I'm not doing that.
Oh man! Meanwhile, the Steelers just keep stealing games, keep racking up wins. We got 2 Monday Night Football games tonight, which yesterday's slate was kind of weird. Like the afternoon game stunk. I had to watch Mac Jones again, and the 49ers might be the most injured team ever. Like Pearsall was out yesterday too. They're just. So that wasn't really fun to watch. Like there wasn't a lot of fun games, I guess, until the Sunday night. But even the Chiefs just kind of did whatever the hell they wanted in the second half. Hopefully, we get a couple good games. The Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels bowl. Yeah. And then Falcons,
Buffalo. Penix and your boy Allen.
Well, let's go over in that game. Feels like an over. Points of Palooza.
I think Buffalo defense is going to play a little better. What's the over? Is it 60-something?
No, it can't be that high.
Maybe 50. I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah,
if it's low 50, high 40s, over.
Yeah, but we got over there on BetMGM, Mr. Luckett.
I'm pulling it up. Just give me a sec.
Because
49.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going over.
Yeah, they're asking you. Hopefully that one is because I have a feeling Bears Commanders could be kind of a yeah. Which was Drake May in that quarterback class too?
Which one?
The one with Williams and Daniels?
Yes. Yeah.
Is he the best out of them all?
Not Daniels. I would say
Daniels is the best out of them all.
I don't know, but Drake seen Drake May lately?
May's been good this year. They didn't give he had no help last year. But Daniels is the best of that. Looks like Williams might be third. We'll see how this year plays out. But
that's a big third. That's like 2 drops. That's like falling off the Grand Canyon number 3. It's not close.
I can't imagine being the Titans Kentucky football fan right now because it's you knew the Mike Vrabel thing when you broke up with him that it wasn't going to go well, and it's going even. I mean, the Patriots looked horrendous for 16 weeks last year, and now it's like, oh, they might just win 11 games this year.
I like how you are omitting the Bengals out of your fandom. The Bengals are what? How many games have the Bengals won in the first quarter of the season? The last 3 seasons, 1.
They're usually this is their pace. 2-4, they're on pace.
You've been too nice, Nick. You've been nice to the fandom. To your boy Adam. You don't want him to feel bad. I get it.
Yeah, he's got to watch Joe Flacco every Sunday. So, it's tough.
I've watched worse. Trust me.
Yeah, we're all in a great spot right now. Everybody's sunshine and rainbows. We've got plenty of it. Kentucky football, we're kind of down. Are we all the way out? We've dealt with worse before. We're going to endure. We're going to persevere. Fans lived through it. Is it one win?
1-12. You count 2 seasons. 1-12 at home. We was almost with 1-12 and 7/8. It was 0-0, and I took a field goal, a 40-yard field goal.
That's what Kentucky needs: a defense, pitch a shutout, and get a big win.
Not 3-0 though, Adam. Not 3-0. I can't live with that again.
We'll take whatever we can get. We're going to be watching Kentucky and Texas play 7:00 ESPN Saturday night. Hope you win some money betting the horses at Keeneland before the game. Might not do a whole lot of winning on Saturday night. For Van Hiles and Adam Luckett, I'm Nick Roush. God help us.